All right, welcome back to What the Frick podcast. Today we have on my acquaintance slash colleague slash maybe friend at BB Flicks.
Brendan.
BB Flicks.
BB Flicks, all right.
We're going by your Instagram handle here.
Great.
So we're going to start this off by just giving the people a little bit of background on you and how we know each other.
Okay.
So me and BB Flicks both work for this little organization called Major League Baseball.
That's the one.
That's the one?
Yeah.
So can you explain to everyone, like, what our job is? Like, give them, like, a rundown of, like, the title and, like, a day-to-day, like, what we do.
Yeah, so our official title is live content creators. So we shoot for both teams that are there, mostly for the away team. And everything we do is in real time. So Justin Turner hits a home run. You grab them off your memory card. You put them onto your phone. You upload them to Greenfly. You let people know in Slack. It goes all the way back to New York, and they do what they need with it if they want it. And that's how you see all our content get posted in real time.
And we're doing photos and video.
Photos and video.
Kind of, like, decide in the moment which one is more relevant to that player or that moment or whatever. But lots of decision making. And also you get to get there 3 hours before game.
You need to be ready 3 hours before the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
To get batting practice, warm-ups, drills, all that jazz. And then do you want to explain why you shoot more for the away team than the home team?
Well, I mean, yeah, the home team always has their whole camera crew, their photographers, their videographers, their social team. Sometimes it can be harder and doesn't really make sense for a road team to send their social team across country. And with the ability to use Greenfly and Slack and applications like that where they can get it remotely, it benefits everyone if we can just, be the middleman.
And we met in a very, not that interesting, but there's this thing in Arizona, which we both live in. BB sometimes lives somewhere else, though. We'll get into that later when we discuss his poor life decisions.
Wow.
But basically, there's this thing in Arizona called the Fall League, which is where the best minor league players
yes.
compete against each other for what exactly?
It's developmental purposes, so all the scouts can see them in one place, and this is how these guys make the next step to the major leagues.
Got it. I've kind of been figuring out what's going on.
Yeah, you're getting there.
One step at a time. There's just so many different things going on in Arizona that are baseball related. Anyway, so me and BB Flicks met at one of these games, and the rest is pretty much history. We've had maybe 3 games.
Yeah, if even.
3 games together. But that was enough to get him a spot on the podcast. So.
Yeah, I don't know how I got so lucky. I'm honored to be here, even though I didn't know the name of it before I got here. But
that's all part of the fun.
Yeah, all right.
Do you want to know the story behind the name?
Sure.
So basically, it's like the podcast is centered around stories or just things that happen in life that make you go like, "What the frick?" Like,
what the frick?
How did that happen? Like,
great.
Stuff like that. So that's kind of the background behind the name. So usually there's something in the podcast somewhere, whether it's me or the guest, and it's like a what the frick moment.
All right.
So we'll figure out what your what the frick moment is as we go on.
Sounds good.
All right. Do you want to give the people maybe a small background on how you got in with Major League Baseball?
Don't have a good story to how I got in. Well, actually, it's not too bad. So my freshman year, I was doing the Arizona Fall League the first year. Then I went and did spring training at Camelback Ranch, which, is very far. Very far away.
Very nice facility, though.
Yes, and then I spent the rest of the year, school year, and just doing whatever. And then sophomore year, I was actually a content creator for the Fall League. And then I did spring training again, and then just had enough for my portfolio and enough viral videos, you can say, to get offered a position as a content creator with MLB.
And this is your first season with MLB?
This was my first full season.
Right. And you're 20 years old?
Yes, that's right.
So you're a child.
I was 19 during the season, though.
So you just turned 20?
Yeah.
Oh,
don't discredit
God.
that.
So
yeah.
you're a teenager.
I was a teenager in the bigs.
Basically.
Yeah.
You're like a minor league player coming up to the big time.
Yeah, you get it.
Wow. So something interesting about you, and kind of sparked our conversation when we're at the games together, is me judging your life choices because I'm a couple years older than you.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Some could say.
Some could say.
I thought you were going to go on about how you didn't know any of the players' names and that's where you needed help. But I see.
We can start there, I guess. I mean, there's like, how many of them are there? Like, there's over 100 players.
250.
Yeah, okay. There's over 250 players and none of these guys are in the majors. So it's hard enough to know the actual people in the majors unless they're like a big name.
For some.
No, for most. So when there's random players you've never seen before coming down and all they have is a number on their jersey, not even like a last name. And it's our job to not only take the content, but label the content for social media. It's very hard to know who this random dude is. He's just got a Cubs jersey on or something. You got to figure out who he is.
For some, once again, you know.
I don't know how are you learning all these people's names? It actually is impressive. Like, do you have a study vocab, a Quizlet? What are you doing?
Yeah, I actually have like a couple Kahoots we play. And no, I'm just kidding. No, I just, like, I'm really good at remembering, like, a face to the name. And we go over these lists dozens of times before media day to remember who's who and where everyone is. So it's like, just when they show up in person, it's just kind of easier to remember them by their name. Creates better relationships.
Right. And, well, you are working directly with that league, whereas I'm more of, like, someone just coming in to help get content. But you're actually talking to the guys. And you're with them a lot more than I am, so
6 days a week.
Well, anyway, back to your poor life decisions.
Yes.
Maybe you can explain to everyone, because it's still a little confusing for me. You went to school here at the horrible school of Arizona State University, and you're a junior now? Well, would be a junior now, but then you were offered a role of a content creator in the Bay Area in San Francisco because there were no open spots here in Phoenix, so you decided to do remote learning in Arizona, correct?
That was the plan, but we didn't get that far.
So what happened?
So, well, first off, I'm from the Bay Area before it seems like I just picked up and jumped to a random city.
It's like your family lives there?
Yeah, so I lived with family. It happened like 2 weeks before the season, actually March 14th. I still remember the day, not to be specific or anything, but I didn't apply like for any of them actually. I got like a DM at just like saying there was an opening there if I wanted it. And it like was like a really legit coincidence that it happened to be like where I'm from and where I'd have like open housing and family that could, you know, keep me there. So I filled out the application, did the interview with her, and like a week later I heard back from her that
what if it had been a spot somewhere really random, like Houston or DC or something?
Yeah, no,
like totally not able for you.
It would have had to have been like somewhere in California or here, and those are probably the only options, honestly, because it was like I was in school at the time, and there was like 2 weeks left of spring training when I found out. So it was like a huge turnaround. Like the World Baseball Classic was happening. I don't know if you shot that, but you know how close like it was.
No, I was busy.
Oh, my bad.
Super Bowl.
My bad. Oh,
Super
that's
Bowl
right.
time.
You got to shoot the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much it. I just picked up and went back home just like that. So
you originally were going to go back home and do online courses for college, then you didn't end up doing that, or you started doing it and then you decided to stop?
Nah, I never got to it.
You just dropped out of college?
Yeah. Well, it's like my mindset is like I've gotten to this point without a degree or anything, and school is for people, and there is degrees that you obviously need, like to be a nurse, a doctor, business, whatever. But there's like we're in a cool situation where you can kind of come from any background and still work as long as your creative minds flow. So I didn't really see a reason to, and I was working a lot, and I wasn't just doing the LCC stuff. I was picking up little events along the way. I shot a couple charity events for the Giants and stuff like that. So it didn't make sense to me. But it's not something I'm like calling quits on, you know. I could come back.
Right.
I can make a comeback, but
well, you're only 20 years old.
Yeah, I got time.
So wait, what were you studying? Like, what was your major?
Well, like I was really just focused on like the photography and like content side, but I guess you could say sports journalism.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that is a good point. Like, you don't really need a degree to do our job. You just need a portfolio
Yeah.
and the right networking sources.
Yeah, it's really who you know, how you build connections.
It's all who you know. But, I mean, you're still pretty young. Would you ever worry that one day you're not going to want to do this anymore? You're not going to have, like, that piece of paper that's so important to, like, get another type of job? Or you're always going to stay in the creative, like, department?
I mean, it's crossed my mind, but it's never really actually been like a thought I go over. I can always go back if I need to. It's not like once you turn 22 or 23, you're done. There are ways you can go back.
Yeah, people go back all the time.
Exactly. So, I mean, I hope not to get bored of it. I don't know. Are you saying it as like you are? Is that why? Okay.
No, I'm not.
Just
but like,
sure.
I know a lot of people who get burned out of this type of job because it is so demanding and it is very repetitive, and they want like nothing to do with either sports or creativeness. So I'm like, okay, well, what are you gonna do now? Because it's such a niche industry that it is hard to like go a different path.
Yeah. Well, luckily there's like, you can do different sports and stuff like, so it's like there are ways to get around it as long as like you don't get burnt out like completely, like you don't want to pick up a camera ever again. There's always something you can shoot as long as you have the right connections or right mentality towards it.
Right. Yeah. And I asked you this question before when you were telling me about this, but do you feel like you're missing out on the young people's college experience? I mean, I'm sure you have friends from back home, but it's not the same as going to ASU.
No.
In person, full time, that type of experience.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say I missed out on it. I mean, it's who you talk to, really. Some people are like, they had a blast, but I meet people here at the Fall League who are like, it's overrated, the experience, and it's kind of how you handle it anyways. Me personally, I'm not a big partier, so it didn't like really matter to me. And I have like so many of my friends I've made are in this industry, and you can talk to them about it all the time. And yeah, like you said, I went back home, so I had a lot of friends I hadn't seen in a while. So it was a cool experience. I like well, I don't necessarily like being in so many different places at once, but it's a good time in my life where I can afford to travel like this and take those risks.
Yeah. And you're planning on going back to the Bay Area after this month is over? Because there'll be really like no baseball going on until spring training starts again.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going. My like immediate family lives in San Diego now. So I was staying with my aunt in the Bay Area. Maybe San Diego. The weather's much nicer there in the winter than most places. So, but I might stay here because I honestly love Arizona. I don't feel like I'm here enough as much as I like it. So I'd like to stick around if I can.
Okay, so San Diego is, a goal, but if you do stay in Arizona, then like where would you stay? Because you're not with like a dorm or anything. Like, do you have other family here?
Yeah, well, I was hoping I could just crash here on the couch. No, I don't know.
I'm sure my roommate would love that.
Yeah, no, I would just maybe jump around for a little with friends or get a place here for a short time. I'll probably go back to San Diego like right after, but then a lot of players come out here and start doing like private workouts and stuff like that. So
that's true.
There's opportunities here all the time, as you know.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, a good question because I get asked this a lot.
Sure.
Are you worried about like the months where there's not a lot? Like, I mean, but besides like the private workouts, like you're not really getting paid.
Yeah.
When it's not season, and people are always like, "What are you gonna do?" And I'm like, "That's a great question."
Yeah.
But I kind of see it as like, oh, this is my holiday break. Like,
right.
2.5 months to like not think about baseball and other. I mean, I have other things going on, but
yeah.
Like, do you worry about money?
I mean, I haven't had to yet. I mean, this is the first season where I'm not in like any form of school, and I'm not like in one of like the apartments or dorms where it's like, year round. So maybe, I don't know. Like
maybe
it's crossed my mind, but I haven't like thought into it too much because honestly, I could use the break but I could also use the money, but I'm also young where I feel like it's like okay to have a little bit of time off right now and not get burnt out like you said?
Okay, so I do agree with you about the whole needing a break thing, but also I have this mentality of always feeling the need to work and saying yes to opportunities even when it may conflict with my personal life.
Sure.
Do you have that problem as well? Or I feel like when you're in this situation, it's like, oh, you don't know when the next money opportunity may come, so you have to say yes to everything because like they might not ask you again for a few weeks or a few months, but then maybe that's taking away from your time with your friends or your family or maybe something personal. Do you have that issue as well, or is that just a me thing?
No, I get what you're saying. Like, if there is an opportunity that comes up, you're just talking about like a single event or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you take it and take the extra money, obviously. Go out, you get an extra day out at the mall or something, you know, you go shopping, spend it on yourself. But no, you just, definitely don't say no. I think that's the one thing I've learned, and I'm sure you can say the same, is like saying yes is like just the biggest thing in this industry. Like anytime you're available is huge because that's a lot of the way you build connections is just filling in for someone that said no.
Right. It's funny because a lot of people I know tell me the opposite. Oh. Well, they don't work in this industry.
Okay. Yeah.
They're like, you need to say no, like, or I'll be like, oh, I can't, you know, I have a game or I have this random freelancing event. And they're like, you work too much. And I'm like, yeah, but it's fine. But then people like us are like, yes, of course, go, do it. Yeah. Yes. So it's like a mix of trying to convince other people that aren't like us that this is a good thing, but they don't get it.
I mean, I like the work though. Like,
yeah, me too.
Like there's some times where you get asked to do something like, I hate the events where they want us to like shoot crowd stuff, or, you know, like when you're asked to shoot a baseball game, but you're not actually shooting the baseball game. Like you're just supposed to shoot the fan stuff. That stuff is personally not for me.
You're like, nope.
No. Yeah.
Game action only, please.
Thanks, but no thanks. So there are things I pick and choose on, but anything that's related to the sport world, I'll typically say yes. Not typically, I will say yes.
All right. So I'm curious what your favorite and least favorite thing is about your current job or just jobs involving the sports world that you've had. I mean, I feel like you're more like young and sprightly. Yeah. So like I was like, oh, you want to work every single baseball game? Like that's crazy to me because that's just like burnout. But I'm older than you and I've been doing this longer. Yeah. So for you, it might be a different answer. So I'm curious.
Yeah. The best thing is just like, I mean, you've been doing it for a few years now, so it's not new to you. So my answer will change over time. But 2 years ago, these are like guys I like looked up to and, you know, like watch them on TV every day and stuff. So now to be like 10 feet away from them in the tunnels and, you know, wherever, it's just unreal. And I don't take that for granted one bit. It's about as close as you can get, like outside of being a baseball player, like to the game, you know, we're as close to them and we hear everything, we see everything. Like it's about as legit as it gets. My least favorite would be like I don't know how to word it correctly, but like
let's see.
But like everything happening so last second, you know, like the lack of here's the words, the lack of preparation, like not being able to prepare for certain things because you don't know, like sometimes they'll double us up for a game like opening day or whatever, or sometimes we'll swap games or stuff like that. And obviously, like you said, I'd like to work all 162. I tell everyone if they'd let me, I'd do it. So
that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that the lack of preparation isn't an MLB thing, but just a sports thing in general. For sure. Yeah. Like the amount of people I've worked with in different sports, like it's just a sports thing. Yeah. And so it used to really bother me because I'm a very like calendar organized person, but now I'm very used to getting a text and being like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do agree. I don't like that part either, but I think you just get more used to it over time. Mm-hmm. And then you were saying that you like being around the players. Do you still see the players as like how fans see them? Like, oh, this is a celebrity and they're like reaching for like
Rarely.
autographs and pictures. Like, I know it's probably changed a little, but
Yeah.
like, because I don't really see them like that at all.
Rarely at this point. Honestly, it's just like when they talk to me, that's it. You know, when they like, even if it's just something simple like where can I get those photos, or like, you know, just asking me how my day is or whatever, or who I shoot for. Like, it's really cool to be able to have those interactions. But like the guy walks by me in the tunnel, or I took a video, I'm not like starstruck or anything, you know. It's just like it's cool to think like I just had that conversation with that guy, you know.
Yeah. Are there any players you're starstruck by?
Well, I'm a big Dodger fan. I didn't get to see the Dodgers this year.
I saw them a lot this year.
I know, I'm very jealous. And they came to San Francisco twice. I was already here for the Fall League once, and then I had just been getting started the first time, so you know, big level game wasn't for me yet.
So any Dodgers players, really?
I mean, it would be really cool, but I shoot spring trainings with them now, so maybe not as much as I think. Ronald Acuna, did you guys have the Braves? You must have. Mm-hmm. So Acuna and I guess Fernando Tatis, those were the two that was like, this is pretty cool because like they're good for the game and they're up and coming superstars.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's Chris Bryant.
Yes, we all know. How about you turn around and show the podcast? No, the other way. Then you see the back.
Mr. Bryant.
There you go.
But I'm from Chicago, and I'm a Cubs fan. It could really be any 2016 Cubs player that I'm a fan of. So him mostly.
If I remember right, no, maybe it wasn't you. Someone recently told me their dog was named Rizzo. That's not you, right?
No, but we did name my dog after the Cubs general manager of the president of 2016 Cubs.
Which was?
Theo.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
But I would name my dog Rizzo.
Yeah, so Cubs fans are loyal to their dogs, because I met one that was named Rizzo recently after Anthony Rizzo, so I don't know what it is with dogs and Cubs fans, but...
There's just a lot of good names, and like if I have a girl dog, I want to name her Ivy.
Okay.
After the
Ivy. Yeah. A lot of my friends in the Bay Area had dogs like Buster after Buster Posey.
I have heard that one a lot.
Yeah, so that was very common in the Bay Area. I was going to say is if Rizzo came up to you and just asked you like, how's it going? Would you stutter to answer back, or like...
I would faint.
You'd faint?
No.
Faint. Good thing the Yankees haven't come to Arizona then. Jeez.
No.
This year?
The closest I've gotten is when David Ross talks to me, because the Cubs come to the D-backs, and he'll say hi to me. Last year he asked me what my name was.
Oh, God.
I'm not stuttering, but I am like, just like, I know you.
Yeah. I would never say like I've gotten starstruck in the moment, but do you ever feel like you almost can't remember like how the conversation went because you're thinking so hard like to answer right? Like this is your chance to like talk to someone you've looked up for so long and you don't want to butcher it?
No, I remember every single word.
You're better than me. Yeah, you're better than me for sure.
But you know what? It's also different for me because we were just kind of discussing this the other night. Like being a woman in the industry versus a guy, like you're probably having different conversations. Like you're in the dugout and you're like talking to them. Like when I was in the dugout last night with the guys, like they were very like they stayed away. Yeah. And they would only come up to like ask me like where their photos were or just like a question or two about myself, but it's not as playful and that's just because like they're being careful, but I also have to be careful. Yeah. Like a professional at my job, like I can't be like interacting with them because it might like look weird or give the wrong idea. So you were just in Indianapolis.
Yes.
This weekend.
Go Colts, baby.
And I saw you were like on the field. Yeah. I was very confused when I saw your Instagram story. I'm like, you're not supposed to be there.
No, we were there as fans. I wasn't shooting it.
How'd you even get on the field?
We shout out my dad. He found some field passes, hooked it up. Yeah. I mean, it was pretty cool. I'd never been to Indy, or I've been to one Colts game when they came to San Francisco. But I've been dying to get out there, and they won, and you know I got to go on the field, so it was a very cool experience. But I will say you were right; the city of Indianapolis is nothing special.
I was right.
Yeah, no, you were right for sure.
So there was no need to scream at me the other day.
Yeah. So how about some context here? You know, I've been looking for. We booked this trip in May, and we're in October now, so it's like 5.5, 6 months. And I was telling Shane at the game the other day how excited I was to go, and I'd never been before, and I'm a huge Colts fan, whatever. And she straight up just tells me that the city sucks. It's boring. Like, just ruins 5.5 months of excitement in a 15-minute conversation. Unfortunately, though, I do have to admit she was correct, but, you know.
Okay, well, your excitement was around the game.
True,
which
true,
is not
absolutely.
the same. Like, the stadium is cool.
Yeah.
Very cool
Have
place.
you been to Lucas Oil?
No, I haven't, but it just
Oh.
looks fun.
It's insane. It's for anyone who's ever played like Madden or like seen the video games and stuff, like it literally looks exactly like it, which is crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of that, do you take like photos of non-sports things, like when you're on a trip or vacation or like with your friends? Are you ever taking photos or even videos of like other random things? Or do you really like use that time to like be normal?
I need to be, honestly. Like, I took a trip earlier this year to go to Pittsburgh to shoot for a pair of brothers that are in the MLB. And I walked around Pittsburgh and like checked it out. And I regret not taking more pictures of where I am. Like, it's a cool thing to do, especially when you're by yourself. Like,
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, people talk about like be where your feet are.
No,
You know?
I don't believe in that.
I do believe in that because I think it's true. It's like you can take the pictures and you can document it, but it's like if I never do go back to Pittsburgh, I want to like remember what I saw, you know, and like have real like memories, not just pictures of it.
Yeah, then you can look at the picture and be like, oh yeah, that's where I was.
You can look at the picture and be like, I didn't actually like enjoy it. I took the picture so I could remember I was there, you know?
Yeah, I think you can take a picture and also enjoy the moment.
Yeah, because I know you're big on that, and like,
I am.
Yeah, where you are like taking pictures.
Well, I've always liked it. Like, I've always preferred taking like travel content.
Yeah.
No, I think they're very different, but like I have a hard time separating myself. People are always like, "What's your hobby?" I'm like, "My job is my hobby."
Yeah,
because
pretty much.
even when I'm not filming or shooting sports, I'm with my friends. I'm somewhere. I'm doing other content stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can we talk about how expensive this hobby is for people that do it as a hobby?
Yeah.
Like, any money I've made to this point really has gone like back into camera equipment. From like the small events I do, like spring training or the fall league.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I buy a lens and that's how I like pay for it, is from this stuff. So people that work a job or are retired and spend money on like the newest Canon, Nikon, or Sony cameras and have like $10,000 lenses, like how is that possible? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, people that don't know, a camera body can be anywhere between like $1,000 to $5,000.
Yeah,
The
easily.
better ones higher.
Yeah.
And then a lens, a good one, is going to be the same thing, maybe even sometimes more expensive.
Yeah,
like
and you never just have one lens. You know? Yeah.
It's an investment, though. I remember when I bought my first like Sony in lens, I was like, yeah, no, I can't buy that.
Yeah.
That's like $3,000. But once you do it and then you see how much you're actually using the camera, like, I mean, it's definitely paid itself off now.
Yeah.
But me thinking, oh, I want to update my camera, I'm like, no.
No.
This camera does the job.
No, it takes some time.
But I do want a new one at some point. But I really want the new, or it's not new, but that really basic, fun Fuji, I think it's the X100V.
Yeah.
The like film camera that's digital. I really want that. But it's just like, it's so back ordered.
Yeah.
So
You can just do disposables. I like to consider myself the disposable camera expert. But yeah, I take one every month with me to MLB games, and you get 27 photos to document, you know, a whole month of the season. I find those do really well because players interact differently with them.
this will be posted after this happens, but tomorrow is the D-backs Dodgers game
Yes.
3, and I just saw before you came over, it's completely sold out tomorrow.
I got
don't know if you're
tickets.
going. You're
Yeah, I got
going?
tickets.
Where's your tickets? Like up there?
They're in like right behind home, but up top in like.
That's a good spot.
Yeah, no, it's great. I've pondered selling them because they're going for a lot. And
My mom said that today. She's like, should I sell these? I'm like, no.
Yes.
You're going to go.
Yes.
I'm going to be there
Yeah.
like 12 hours before you, but you're going to go.
yeah, like D-backs fans are like craving for this, and like being up 2-0, which is not a scenario I ever pictured for them.
It's beautiful.
Like, they're going for a lot of money right now, and I really don't want to get there and show up in my Will Smith jersey and have to, make the walk of shame I've made so many times on the way out.
Well, I'm very curious because usually at these games, it's like some D-backs fans, and a lot of the times it's the away team fans. And because LA is so close to us, at usual Dodger games, there's a lot of Dodgers fans. So I'm curious if tomorrow's going to be like half and half, or if D-backs fans are finally going to hop on the bandwagon, or like what is going to be the vibes. But it's going to be so weird to see the field actually sold out because it's never even close to being full. So I'm just like, I'm ready.
I mean, so when the Giants started this season, they were bad and they weren't getting a lot of fans. They randomly picked it up around All-Star break. And those games, like the difference, and you'll see it tomorrow, the difference between like 25,000 and 35 or 40, like where you look around and you can't even spot a single empty seat. It's like a lot. It's a cool feeling. Like you're going to feel the energy. It'll probably be like 50-50 Dodger fans, but that's cool. I like that because either way something happens, especially from your standpoint where you work for MLB and you're shooting for both teams, there will be like noise and excitement both ways, which is cool. It ruins the game.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow.
So you're rooting for the D-backs?
Yes.
Are you supposed to stay indifferent as a member of Major League Baseball?
I am technically a Cubs fan by trade, by heart, so they're not in the postseason.
Fair enough.
But my thing has been I always root for the team that I like work for, even though I don't work for a team. Like whether it's the NFL, baseball, I root for the team I'm assigned to.
Yeah.
Because if they do well, then I do well because I get to go to more things.
True. Yeah, and if you say it like that more than you want the D-backs to win, then
they're also a fun team, and it's cool that they're so young, so many rookies. It's just like a cool story, but it's more selfish in terms of I want them to win so that I get.
I mean, it makes sense.
More stuff.
Yeah, you want to shoot more playoff games. I get it.
Yeah, I've never shot a playoff game in my whole life, even with the NFL.
You shot the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, well that doesn't count. That's the Super Bowl.
You shot. Honestly, starting with the Super Bowl, I want to get your opinion on that after the games. We can't talk about it yet, obviously, but after shooting the Super Bowl, like you've shot the peak of sports. That's the greatest event in sports, honestly. And now you're going to shoot 2 Diamondbacks playoff games. They're playing the Dodgers, but I mean, it's still not exciting as the Super Bowl. No. So I want to know if it still gives off that playoff energy, or not that that you reached the max already, like you peaked too early in the playoff world,
Yeah, I don't know. Super Bowl's pretty hard to beat. But baseball games get rowdy when people actually are paying attention and there's a lot at stake. True. So I won't know until next week. But I don't know. I get very excited for stuff like this. I feel like I'm a player. I feel like I have a lot at stake.
You got to lock in for sure.
I was driving home last night during the last inning, and I was just like, catch the ball, get the out.
Yeah.
Come on, no. I get upset. I'll like scream at the TV. So,
diehard fan, all for work.
Also, I can get the content.
Yeah, how about that? Is that hard when like other games are going on when you're working another event? Is that not the worst?
Yeah, I mean, last night I literally put my phone in the dugout and had it up the entire game, and like all the players were walking by, like, "What's the score?"
Same,
but they cared too. So.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like my phone died in the 7th. Like I ran out of battery.
You gotta be prepared for that and have that backup.
I was flying home from Indy, like I didn't have enough phone battery, but it's like I almost can't focus on the work I'm doing there because I'm so focused on what's going on in the Dodger game. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, speaking of things that are happening during games that are distracting, like other games, I was recently at a game and got very distracted by some news. Can you guess what the news was?
No.
You're like, where is this going?
No, yeah.
So I was at a football game and news broke about Taylor Swift.
Oh,
being at the Chiefs game like 3 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And when I tell you that I could not focus on my game.
See, that makes no sense though.
No, but it does because I'm
Okay.
a die-hard Swiftie.
Yes.
Obviously, I still got everything I needed to get, but as soon as I saw that, I was just like on the NFL Instagram, like, what is going on? What is happening? Like at all the 2-minute warnings
Yes.
and every timeout, I was like looking at it, trying to figure out like what was going on. But
Yeah.
it wasn't like another game that was distracting me, but it was this major economic news.
Major. I mean, I meant more like you can't focus on your own work like while it's happening. Like your brain is going in like 1,000 different directions, and you're like not missing something but not doing as well as you could because you're not focused.
No, that was actually a game where like all the touchdowns were coming to my
and
corner
you got 'em
too.
all?
Yeah. So I was like, out of all the games for me to be distracted at, this isn't it. So
Credit to you. You got it, though.
I put the phone away after the timeout or whatever, and I was like, okay, I'll look at this at halftime.
Yeah.
But yeah, Taylor Swift really just...
Yeah, so 2 things off the Taylor Swift. One, today at the Arizona Fall League, we'll say 10-10 because it's going to come out late. We're doing favorite Taylor Swift song for the mini mic for all the players. So would you like to give us your favorite Taylor Swift song?
Yes, my favorite Taylor Swift song, top 2.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to know them, but...
Of course not.
Both from 1989, coming out soon, called This Love and Clean.
Those are the songs?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to object because on your first day of school board, you did not put those songs.
Oh, not as my walk-up song.
Oh, good point.
Okay, we'll explain that because at our media day, the players could write down what their walk-up song would be.
Yeah.
And I did one. So I put Bejeweled.
Okay.
Because that's a good walk-up song. It's very,
Okay.
like, fun and...
Sure. I don't know. Visual.
You don't know it.
No.
But, like, those 2 are my just favorite songs. But
Got
those
it.
would not be a walk-up song.
Okay. So I retract my objection.
Yeah. Well, fun fact, Anthony Rizzo's walk-up song for a long time was Bad Blood
Was it?
by Taylor Swift.
I know that one. I got one.
And then I think it was a few months ago, like he hadn't hit a home run in a long time, and they finally played that song for his walk-up song. Home run.
Taylor Swift is good for sports.
Is there a coincidence there?
No, Taylor Swift is good for sports.
Note
Note that. So you've seen the concert 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
And what is this going to show you that you didn't see in those 3
Just tighter close-up angles.
Because you couldn't find that on YouTube or...
I mean, I've seen the concert 3 times, and I've watched all the live streams, but no, this is just like reliving the concert. But you get to like be up there with her, so...
Great.
Yeah.
You're locked in.
I am locked
You're
in.
ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
So and do you think other people are going to dress for this movie the same way they dressed for the concerts? No, you don't think so?
I'm not. I'm sure some people will, but I like to go to a movie theater very comfortable.
Yeah.
When it's cold in there usually,
Yeah.
and no. I did have 3 different outfits during each concert I went to.
During the concert you switched?
No. I mean,
Oh.
like, as I went 3 times, so I had 3 different outfits.
Oh.
No, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
But no, I just plan on wearing my like Taylor Swift shirt. So, nothing crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I knew Taylor Swift was popular, but it's like I wear a lot of Dodgers or Warriors stuff, like baseball hoodies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. The amount of Taylor Swift stuff I've seen lately, it's like the equivalent to wearing like too much sports gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny because people will say like, "Oh, men look so ridiculous wearing
Yeah.
another man's last name on
That's
their
what I mean,
back."
yeah.
Like almost like trying to say like that's weird, and like women wear Taylor Swift stuff or other
Yeah.
stuff, but yeah, it's like the same thing, but more men will like make fun of women for being like obsessed with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But like they can go paint their face and like wear a jersey and all this.
I'm not on board with the painting and face stuff, but I mean, you guys doing your makeup the same for these concerts, same deal.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same passion.
Yeah.
We should just all be nice to each other.
What's more popular, Taylor Swift or sports?
Oh my God. That's just a hot take. I was having this conversation with my brother about who's more popular, Taylor Swift or the NFL, Taylor Swift or Drake. He just wants to argue with me, I think. But Taylor Swift, sports in general, no. Obviously, the idea of sports would overtake that.
Yeah.
I mean, soccer or football, as they should be called, is obviously like the most famous thing in the world. But Taylor Swift in America, I would say she's more popular than Drake. She's more popular than the NFL.
Wow.
She's like the most popular figure.
So
right now.
So if you walked up to 100 citizens randomly on the streets of America.
Yes.
And you said Taylor Swift or sports and the other one has to go, like completely.
That's a completely different question.
But that's what I'm asking. Where does it?
I mean, it would depend on your demographic. Are you asking
100 random people?
100 random people? But like from what area? Oh my God. If you're asking a bunch of Kansas City people, they're probably going to say
100
sports.
people, 2 from each state.
Oh. I don't know. I kind of think that should be a good experiment. Someone should do that.
I mean, I think
that one's tough. What do you think? You think sports would win?
Sports. Sports is so good for the world in many different ways. Like, it gives everyone a source of entertainment. It gives like something for someone to like root for and cheer for, and it rallies a lot of people together who it wouldn't, like, most people wouldn't rally together over. But Taylor Swift is also like, I mean, you see the whole thing with Travis Kelce. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think sports though.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right. Sports, in terms of one has to stay and go, but just in terms of popularity and what's more famous, which is sports, or not sports. Let's say Major League Baseball or Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's tough.
Taylor Swift is more famous.
Based off of what? Like their followers? Because, she's
just in general.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you're
like,
right.
Not even just followers. Like, you think about it, baseball is like an American sport it's making its way to other countries.
Yeah.
Which is actually getting more popular. But Taylor Swift is a global superstar.
Yeah.
Like, she's got a tour in like every country, every continent, besides like Antarctica.
Yeah.
So how do you compete with that?
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's tough.
I just think it's funny when people argue about that. Like, even Dave Portnoy on his podcast was saying, like, people are stupid. Like, she's more famous in the NFL. She's more famous.
Yeah.
But there's a reason the NFL is like playing her movie trailer for free, because she is who she is.
Yeah.
And they want her so bad for the halftime show, and like, I don't think she's ever gonna do it.
Which is crazy to me. So then,
why is that so crazy that she won't do it?
Like, why wouldn't you?
Well, you don't get paid.
No, you don't. But it's like, it's an honor, like, not for her, I'm saying, but like, if you look back at all the people who have done it, like Rihanna just did it.
Yeah.
I mean,
epic.
Katy Perry's done it. The Weeknd did it. Like, everyone has done it.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just do it to do it? Say you did it.
I feel like she might do it one day, but she just has too much going on.
Yeah.
She's honestly too busy. She doesn't have time.
So Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, publicity stunt or real?
Real.
I think it's a publicity stunt.
Taylor doesn't do things for publicity. She's the most famous woman in the world.
In the world?
At least in America. Well, maybe other. Maybe not. I don't know. She's up there.
Yeah, no, it's got to be a publicity stunt.
Why do you think that? Why would she do that? She doesn't have time for that.
Why doesn't she have time for that?
Do you know how busy she is?
No, like clearly not, because she's showing up to games on Sundays. So.
Okay, well, when she was on tour in America, which ended like a month ago, she's not on tour until like February. So she is on a break right now. God bless her, because she needs it. So yeah, she's having fun. Go Taylor.
Yeah.
But she's also re-recording all her albums.
Yeah.
Don't you know about that? You're educated, right?
No.
You don't know about that?
She's re-recording them?
She's re-recording past albums because her music was stolen. How are you so uneducated? So uncultured.
Her music was stolen, so she's making new songs.
No.
She's just re-singing them.
Yes. So her albums were technically sold, and she wanted them, like, she wanted the rights to them, but they were sold, so she can't like use them how she wants. So she like waited, and she's re-recording them in like her own, like, now. So she's re-releasing old albums, and then she's adding on like 4 or 5 new songs that have never been heard to each album.
Well, that's cool.
So she's doing that. And she's also just crazy. Like, she's always thinking of, like, little mind games to play with her fans to keep us entertained.
Yeah, she is.
So she doesn't have time to be sitting there like, who am I going to date for fun? And also, it's, like, a big deal to date Taylor Swift because if you mess up, something will be said about you. So
Right. So that's why I think both of them benefit from this. Now, this starts to get into,
he benefits way more than she does.
Sort of.
No.
Wait.
He does.
Wait. She gets to make us, when they break up, which is going to happen.
You don't know that.
It's going to happen. Kelce, she's going to get to make a song about Travis Kelce, which is going to go crazy viral because of how popular Taylor already is.
It wouldn't matter who it was about. It's going to go viral regardless.
But they know who it's about, so that brings in, like, all of that sports world back to her.
How would you know it's about him?
Doesn't she make one about every relationship?
She doesn't.
Isn't that her thing?
She doesn't ever say this is about
the
him.
The very next
him,
breakup song after they break up is going to bring all of those theories to it. And then she benefits like crazy from that. And right now, his jersey
doesn't.
Yes, he does. And the NFL sold jerseys that have her name on the back of it.
Yeah, because they want like to profit off of her.
Exactly. They're both going to make a crazy profit. The NFL and Kelce
she doesn't
benefit
need
more.
That profit. She's made over $100 million off a movie that hasn't been released yet.
So how about $200 million more off a song about a tight end in the National Football League?
I'm just saying that would maybe draw more football listeners in.
Yeah, sports.
But yeah, I just you're
then,
just wrong. I'm sorry.
Because when that song comes out,
you're just wrong.
Like ESPN's gonna pick it up, and NFL, like they're all Sports Center.
They're not gonna pick up a song that's like trash talking Travis Kelce.
No, they're gonna post it and be like,
I don't think
she's writing about Travis. Of course they will. That's how the world works.
Only if it's like a line where it's super indicative that it's about him. But like,
then she better start thinking of them because.
Okay, well, why can't we just hope that they work out?
Let's hope they work out.
I need to get off this train, or else I'm gonna be here for hours.
Yeah, you're I can tell this is really hitting home right now.
So how do you decide if you're gonna do photo versus video?
That's a good question. Anything that seems like a high leverage moment in my mind, I do video. I like to at least get a couple photos of all the big players when they're hitting and stuff, in case they need it later on for, like the picture and then the home run video one after another. But I like to do photos in their celebrations in the dugout. I don't know if you do video or photo for that.
It's hard at Chase Field because our photo wells are on opposite sides.
What do you mean? Like,
so when they're going down, it's like we don't get the front angle of their faces. Yeah. So we get like the backs, which is still fine, but it's not as cool as like seeing their face.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, high leverage moments, which would be like a grand slam.
Yeah.
And like if they might hit a home run, there's like 1 out left, stuff like that. But yeah, sometimes teams will tell you to like, oh, we only want you to take photo or vice versa, which I always hate because I'm like, I have to decide myself.
Yeah.
But sometimes they just have specific things they need.
Yeah. What would you say, like, do you ever have like that feeling like something's about to happen, so you turn to video and then you're right? Or like you just missed it, maybe the other way around?
Yes, all the time.
Those are the worst.
But I've also noticed like some teams will use photo more than video, like teams that come back. So I'll be like, oh, I'm not even going to use video because they want photo. Like I know they want photo. So sometimes it's like sacrificing what I think I might want versus like what they actually need because that's obviously our job. But in my head, I'm like, that would have been way cooler as a video.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks for coming in today, Brendan.
No problem.
Otherwise known as @BBFlix. Do you want to spell that for everybody so they can? That's for your TikTok and Instagram.
And Instagram, yeah.
Do you have any other social medias? Or
Twitter,
just those? Twitter,
Snapchat. It's all the same.
Let's not use Snapchat.
All the same. @BBFLICKS. Nice and simple.
Nice and simple. And you just post a lot of your cinematic content onto your stuff. Lots of photos as well. So any baseball fans, minor league fans, Brendan's your guy.
There you go. Yep. Thanks for having me. Go Dodgers, baby.
All right, signing off, and see you guys next time.